Hi Dan, we have clear skies or partially cloudy only for a few minutes, so I thought I will grab as many frames of Lambda Ori, also known as Mesa, as possible and submit it to the HOYS project. Earlier this morning, very early, we had an incredibly good elephant's trunk nebula. Let me see if we can see it. Yeah, there it is. This is a HOYS target as well, and it came out very, very nicely. HOYS project is going very well. I've been having a ton of fun getting the 16-inch telescope in Oswego at Rice Creek configured and up and running and getting it ready for HOYS. That should give us some incredibly nice images of young stars in I'd like to get it done before the Orion Nebula is history for the year. Many of those clusters are in the vicinity of Orion. Yeah, that image of the elephant's trunk was only half an hour before the sun, before dawn. Weather has been incredibly strange around here. After 5 weeks of clouds, now we get an hour here and an hour there of clear skies, and I'm trying to take advantage of it. This evening I skipped my ritual of going to Polaris first before going to other targets to make sure that Seestar knows its north from its south. When I put Seestar outside and I looked to the northern sky, there was no Polaris to be seen. It was cloudy to the north. And since Mesa, Lambda Ori, is to the south right now, I skipped Polaris and went straight to the south, and it found it, and we're imaging. 5 minutes so far. This afternoon took advantage of clear skies and uncovered the dome for my 11-inch Celestron. I'd like to think that the worst of the cold temperatures are behind us. Not the end of the snow by any stretch of the imagination, but I wanted to cover the dome and the telescope inside it. This is the first winter I leave the scope outside, and I'm not worried about it all the way down to about 0 Fahrenheit, but I've never had it outside with a minus 20 Fahrenheit. So that part is probably behind us. I lived in northern England, well, not as far north as you do. I lived in Manchester for 3 years. And yeah, get, it did not get too cold. The temperature year round was about 10 Celsius, give or take 2 degrees. When it dropped below 5 Celsius, it was cold. And when it got above 15 Celsius, it was hot. This morning I got a nasty surprise from ZWO, from the Seestar folks. I thought they were on vacation for 2 weeks for the Chinese New Year, but as soon as I turned on the app, it said firmware upgrade, and it did not give me an option not to upgrade firmware at 3 in the morning. And then for some reason Seestar and Android tablet got into a tiff and did not want to talk to each other in the middle of the firmware upgrade. That took about half an hour to resolve. But the good news is I did not end up with a paperweight or a brick. We are fairly sheltered from wind here. As a matter of fact, the temperature today was, believe it or not, in February 12 Celsius. I went for a run in shorts and a t-shirt. When they posted on Facebook that they're going to be shut down for 2 weeks, I posted a comment on their post wishing them a happy new year, the year of the dragon, and asking them when are they going to unveil the Seestar S80. No, I did not start a rumor. Lots of blogs, especially on cloudy nights, have been discussing the S80, and even on Seestar's own Facebook page, people have been discussing the S80. And in response to my comment, Uh, Seestar put a heart as opposed to a finger, so I'm assuming that's a good sign, because if they release an S80 or an S100, that is likely to be my next telescope purchase. Earlier this week I tried imaging the supernova in NGC 4216, and I was blown away by the quality of the image that Seestar gave. It was far better than Stellina, even though Stellina is twice the lens surface. In going from S50 to S80, they're gonna have to replace the plastic gears that they have in the S50 with metal gears, and that's gonna increase the weight and the cost and the motors to drive it. Dan, do you have good news, some good news, or are you referring to my news from my chat with Seestar? Excellent. This is indeed excellent news. It beats any S80. No, it's just a matter of getting him back his strength and getting him out of the house and moving again. Well, I hope so. I have a good friend who was given 6 months to live about 10 years ago, and she's still running marathons, and yeah, I don't put much faith in the medical establishment when it comes to giving us bad news and not appreciating the true nature of the human will. We can do a lot better than they give us credit for. Yeah, recovery back from being all the way down is going to be a journey, but it's definitely worth it. And the weather is going to start improving now. I don't know if the glow in the middle of the screen around Mesa, whether this is indeed nebulosity or just an artifact of the optics. Good evening, Charles. Good evening, Camus 83-489. This is, oh, sorry, my bad. It is Seestar S50. Right now, the Seestar is the only one approved for use by HOYS. DWARF is out, and I have not been able to configure the big rig yet to give us good data for Mesa. S100 will have 4 times the light gathering capability, being twice the aperture. They will have to replace all the plastic gears with metal gears. That's going to make it a lot heavier. The glass will be a lot heavier. They will need bigger motors for everything. Bigger battery to drive those bigger motors, a much sturdier tripod. I estimate that the price will increase by the square as opposed to linearly here. Stellina will be approved if we figure a way to get FITS data, stacked FITS data out of Stellina with the right headers, and that's what I've not been able to get yet out of Stellina. Everything else about Stellina is good, is acceptable. Dan, your guess of 1,000 is probably on the lower end. I was guessing closer to 1,500 pounds or $1,800 is my guess for an S80 or S100. That will still put them as a telescope. That will put them much larger aperture and better telescope and a lot lower price than Vespera. You may want to go to the HOYS website and and see what they say there. Charles, it'll definitely be worth the price. Right now, I still do not understand how they were able to sell this one for $400 initially or $500 now and give you lifetime software upgrades for free. Now remember, I've had the Seestar since October 1st, so I've had it for 5.5 months now. And looking at what it did back then and what it does now, I can list at least a dozen improvements that they added just at our request. For example, its ability to find the sun and track the sun is very, very nice. Time-lapse, stacking, these are good. Let me show you my favorite feature that I asked for. This one. Turning off all the clutter around the screen is very useful. Their catalog is extensive. The ability to go to the Sky Atlas and pick anything you want on it and just click and go is something that none of the other smart scopes allow you to do now. Marking the screen, annotating the screen is a very, very useful feature. The adjustment that they added recently allows you to play with brightness, play with contrast, not that bad, and adjust saturations, especially if you have any redness in the image. Saturation will bring it out. Plus I have the ability to revert, to go back to where we were. These are new as of the last firmware upgrade. Plus, they allow us now to look at, to set the exposure time. It used to be default of 10. Now you can go with 20 seconds and 30 seconds, and I've tried them. Not enough stars is usually too many clouds. I'm going to peek outside. I'll be right back. I am afraid this may be the early end to an otherwise unpromising night. The weather forecast gave us at best 1 hour break in the clouds, and they were off by a little bit. We have been live for 27 minutes. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes now. If that 1940, if it does not change, it means we are done for the night. I looked outside and I did not see a single star. Yeah, good night, Dan. Okay, might as well at this point show you how I upload things to the HOYS server. I'm gonna stop this guy, and we're gonna go with full screen capture at this point. With a lot of luck, a double back star Seestar will take us to the it did. This is the database or the file, my works, and there's Maisa, and that is today's dates. This is the file that I need, 2/10/2024. It's the FITS file. We'll come back to it. What I need to do is I need to move it into the HOYS folder. File Explorer. Seestar HOYS. I'm supposed to put it in the lights folder. And there it is. I'm going to take out the other files to avoid too much noise there. So this is the only file left. Now I need to go to a command prompt. And make my way into the directory where I put the file. And run this Python file. It has generated a red, green, and blue, which I need to upload now. And here are the Mesa files. These are the three that I will be uploading. So I go to upload and grab those 3 files. Come on. And when they are uploaded, we process them. And we look at the observation target. It is lambda Ori. Device used, ZWO Seestar, enter details. It will extract the data automatically from the file. And it's giving us the date, observation date, what filter, exposure time. Data is correct, process, and we go to astrometric calibration. While it's doing that, I'm going to close the telescope. And that's what it did. It identified the stars with those red circles. I will say yes and go to the photometric calibration. That's where it tries to estimate the magnitude of each star based on the knowledge of what region in the sky it is. That is the estimate. These are all the stars that we had. It does the calibration by correcting for any offset that we might have had. And we say, yes, we are good. And that's the end of that one file. So we're done with it. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to wish you a good night. I'm going to go bring Seestar in and see what the morning brings us. We'll see you guys again next time. So long from the Rooster Inn.